Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of two microUSB based peripherals which uses OTG support for Android smartphones and Windows phones as well. So it allows you to insert a micro SD card or some additional storage and access content from your phone. Also allows you to transfer files such as videos or photos directly. Now these two come from two different companies. We have here by Montage, this is the SG008, sells for about $14 on Amazon, and this one is the Unitech version. It sells for slightly less, around $10 more or less, and this is a bit more compact. It's about the same size as a small SD card or flash drive, I'd say, whereas this one is a more fancy, more traditional USB type hub, and it also has a few additional ports for you to plug in peripherals like keyboards, in addition to SD cards and micro SD cards. So this one might be a bit more usable in terms of utility, whereas this one is more lightweight, which may benefit road warriors. Taking a closer look at the Unitech version first, you can see here that the full-size USB tip also includes the portion where you can slide in that micro SD card, which means you can also plug this thing into an Ultrabook or a computer, Mac or PC, simple plug-and-play USB 2.0 with no drivers which are needed, and allows you to use your computer to insert into the card any content that you want, such as documents or photos, and afterwards you can just plug it into your smartphone or tablet using that micro USB tip and then transfer the content over again without the need for connecting your phone directly into a computer. The back features some basic info, including the model number. You can scan this QR code to learn more information about the company, and also share some basic info about the unit. It uses, again, USB 2.0 speed, so not quite as fast as USB 3.0, which are up to 5 gigabits per second, but I think it's good enough, especially since most smartphones, Android phones, don't support a USB 3.0 at the moment. So if we open this up, not really sure why there is a Mac logo down below there, since there isn't a lightning port adapter, so that might be a misprint on the company's part. So just going to tear this thing in. There's also a quick thank you card and a warranty card that comes included when you order it from Amazon. It takes about 5 days to arrive, so pretty fast in terms of overall shipping. And in the center, we now have just the adapter. So this is what the unit looks like. As you can see, there is an end cap that allows you to protect the micro SD card, so in the case that you're traveling, it doesn't accidentally drop off. It has a semi-transparent look to it, so you can kind of see the circuitry underneath, which I think is pretty neat. The Unitech logo is also stamped on the front. The side just features that simple micro USB tip, and the back just features an array of LEDs which may flash when the unit is plugged in and power is flowing through, or when the SD card is being read. So the other side again features that compact USB, full-size USB port, which also dubs as the micro SD card port. So we're going to test this out in a moment. First, we're going to unbox and take a look at the Montage version of this OTG hub. Again, your phone needs to support OTG or on the go for reading back files from the micro USB tip first, and that tends to be a feature found on most, I would say, phones these days, Android phones. It was a feature that was reserved for flagships, such as the Samsung Galaxy devices, Galaxy S3, S4, but now I think it's expanding for more products. Nexus phones should also have it, so hopefully that is something that your phone will support. You can check out more details from the manufacturer. Over here we have the hub. It seems like it also has a proprietary charging cable included, and you may need a bit of power if you have this plugged into, let's say, an Android phone, because it requires some extra juice to power peripherals. Like if you plug in a keyboard or if you plug in a hard drive, it's going to need to draw more power. But for things like larger tablets or for a Windows computer, you really shouldn't need that extra cable. The cable is on the shorter side of the spectrum as well in terms of the length. So the hub, on a first impression perspective, is made out of a soft touch rubber material, which makes it pretty grippy. It also prevents any dust from attracting on the surface over time, which is nice. It seems to be pretty well made. It is mainly out of plastic and has this cable which can be tucked away. It features a simple micro USB tip on this one side. And taking a look at the various ports in the front here, we have a full-sized SD card slot. Also reads SDHC cards. There's also that micro SD card slot on the front there, on the bottom there. This other side features memory stick cards, which are MS and M2 cards, perhaps licensed by Sony. And over here we have access to two USB 2.0 ports, again for peripherals like keyboards, maybe a wired microphone, or maybe a headset that uses USB, something like that. And there's also a third USB 2.0 port on this side as well, in addition to the aforementioned power adapter port. So in total, you get 3 full-size USB ports, which are quite useful if you have a tablet and want to expand upon the utility of your device. So next, we're going to do a quick, test by plugging both of these into a smartphone that is compatible with OTG and show you guys some of the things that you can do. So here we have the card reader and hub plugged into power, as you can see, and there is a LED light on the top here which will illuminate red to indicate that the unit is currently on. Afterwards, you can insert again the full-size SD card or a micro SD card or any peripherals really, such as the USB hubs, such as a thumb drive, and then plug it into the micro USB lead on your smartphone, and it should work just fine. The main thing though is your phone does need to support OTG, so it has to be a mid-tier or upper-end device, or an older flagship will work as well. But for most budget-oriented phones, they might not support this feature, so that's something to quickly point out. And again, to have this power supply, you can also plug the other side onto a power bank, and that should work. Afterwards, you can see that there's an indicator that will change the color, meaning that the unit is being currently read, and you can see that the corresponding phone has actually been detected, and it tells you that the flash drive is being read, and it opens up a series of applications which might be useful for accessing the content on the stored card. So for instance, if we go into something like the file manager under utilities, that's a good way for us to transfer files between the phone's internal memory and the external memory card. So if we want to do another quick test of, let's say I don't want to just be reading cards, I want to also add some kind of accessories like a mouse or a keyboard, that is also possible. So I have a USB mouse I'm just going to plug in on the side over here onto the full-size port. Again, this is part of the reason why it requires this extra power to be operated. Otherwise, it drains the battery of the phone very quickly. So if we zoom out a little bit here and kind of squeeze the mouse over, you can see a cursor has come up on screen, and indeed it works just fine. I can tap on all the keys and buttons and kind of transform this into a pseudo desktop or a computer in some sense. So it does work very well, although again requires an extra cable for connecting to power. Ending our video on a quick size comparison, here is a hub next to a standard size kind of flash drive over here. You can get an idea of the size here, and there's also perhaps an iPod Touch to see that it is fairly portable and easy to carry around. So the Unitech version of that micro SD card reader works the same way. It requires your phone to support OTG, and then you plug it in, except it doesn't require an additional external power source to drive it, since it is only just reading a small memory card, and it doesn't give you the ability to plug in anything else like a hard drive or a thumb drive or something. So that requires less power, but the process is the same. It's recognized almost instantly on your Windows phone or your Android phone, and afterwards you have to go through utilities or some kind of file manager installed on your device to access the content that's stored on the memory card. So anyways guys, thanks for watching this video first look and quick review of these two memory storage OTG card readers, and you can check out more details in our official written review. This has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS.